Hello everyone, welcome to Crafting and Cruising. I'm Lisa here in cloudy, sunny side, Washington State with my hubby who is working. So when you hop on, say hi. This is a no makeup day because I'm going to be in this room all day. So why would I put on makeup, right? So when you hop on, tell me hi, let me know you're here, where you're watching from, and if you're watching a replay, hashtag replay. Hey, sweet Barbara, how are you feeling, sis? I just stuck my arm in the paint. Good way to start off the day. How you feeling, Barb? We got to get together, sister. You're not that far away from me. I thought I was going to be coming there for the Czech Savvy Sisterhood. Hey, T. Marie, Southern Czech Chicks. But they're doing it next week while I'm actually in Nancy, Kentucky, with my girls for scrapbooking. So here's what we're gonna do. I know it's an odd view, so you're not gonna see me and the project, but here's what we're gonna do. Just ignore all that stuff by the TV. This is a box, a wine box, waiting on, I'm going to be praying for you, Barbara. I forgot all about that, sister. Hey, Micheline. Okay, Barb, keep me posted. Love you, and I'll be praying. This is a wine box I got years ago. It's been in my stash forever for $4.99. And it opens right here on the side. And then you can see you can put 2 wine bottles in it. But you could put all kinds of things in it. You could leave it open and put paintbrushes in it. You could put paper towel rolls in it, whatever. Hey, Deb. This would be a cute something to keep or to give away. And here's the back. And then here's the side. Sharon, hey, sweetie. Okay, Rodney's working, but I'll tell him you said hello. Hey, Angie. So here's what I'm planning to do. I'm planning to paint it white first. Then I came up with some decoupage papers that I want to use. These are from a program that I am a member of, okay? So I thought I'd put one in the front and one on each side. Then I want to try to crackle the decoupage papers. Hey, Angie, and then I want to maybe fill in the gaps, especially up here, because I don't have a paper for up here, with some transfers from this IOD transfer pack. So here's what's in this pack, and there's lots of roses and yellow roses, pink roses, and leaves. So I thought it would be cool to do some of them up here, kind of like they did this. I believe this is hand painted. Let me set it up here. I believe this is hand painted. But temperature is 83. I think the temperature here is about 39. Hey, Diane. But use some of the transfers, not down here because I'll have a decoupage paper, but maybe some transfers on both sides here. And then also, I've got to figure out what I want to do down the sides. Thought about putting bling trim, but these don't really call for bling because they're mostly brick and things like that. So I may just try to put some of the transfers, hey Joy, in these little areas and let them kind of spill over. I don't know, we'll see as we go. May end up having to be a 2-parter, maybe come back this afternoon or whatever. Now I was gonna try to cover these up with blue tape. Too much trouble, and I don't have my X-Acto knife to cut around it. So if I go over it, it's fine because I'm probably gonna end up doing these either in black rub and buff or gold rub and buff. Hey, Tammy, y'all, my sweet sister. So we're gonna get started by using, my goodness, Lisa, y'all see that? I put that brush all the way down in the paint. I forgot. Most of the time I don't have enough paint in my thing and I have to go down far. So while I'm painting, of course, Rodney's not here to read comments. and keep an eye on that. So most of your comments and questions, I may have to go back and answer. But tell me what the weather's doing where you are. Tammy, I went through Oregon yesterday. Actually, night before last, I spent the night in Portland. And then yesterday, we drove to some, I don't know what that yellow is, to some beautiful waterfalls. I don't know if y'all were on our live yesterday or not. It is, Joy. It's a double wine box. And anyway, we stopped at Multnomah Falls. That was absolutely stunningly gorgeous. I could have stayed there all day if it hadn't been so cold. So we drove there, and then, of course, on the side of the interstate, you see lots of falls coming down. So I took a lot of pictures. I've posted some of them on my page, but I'm going to do probably a reel and maybe a story about them. So we are kind of out in the middle. Hey, Luann. Hey, Lori, my friend. We are, Lori, you can come in under your page if you want to. We are out kind of in the middle of nowhere, y'all. There's a lot of orchards around here, grape orchards. But like when I look out my hotel window, all I really see is grass and maybe just some buildings. Like maybe it's not a real busy town, let's put it that way. So I have no idea what this yellow is. It's not going to matter because I'm going to put decoupage paper up. I bet it's going to come through here too. Well, maybe not. So, yeah. The waterfall is so gorgeous. And y'all, that sound, the sound, oh, I could just listen to it all day long. Though I would probably sleep all day long if I was sitting there close to it. But I would love to be able to go there and do some watercolor painting. I think it would be so much fun. So, I tried to raise this chair up a little bit, but it doesn't want to raise up. And the surface of this box, y'all, is not smooth at all. So it's going to be bumpy no matter what. But I think it's going to be really a neat box when we get through with it. I liked it the way it was, actually. And like I said, I think those flowers on the front are hand painted because it doesn't feel like any kind of a rub on or anything. So if it is hand painted, somebody spent a good amount of time doing that. Although if you watch people like Susie Lee with Bella Lena Boutique, she can whip out those gorgeous flowers in no time flat. See, I just got it on the hardware there, but like I said, that's okay because we're going to be painting over the hardware. Hey, Shonda. Hey, Kathy. Welcome, you guys. So Ronnie's got a big job out here. I think he said there was 20 some odd water heaters that he has to do something with. Y'all know I don't understand his job. I just say and agree with him because I have no idea. I just know it has to do with water heaters. Sometimes he has to convert them from electric to gas or gas to electric and diagnose why they're not working properly or something. That's about all I know about that, which isn't much. So, yeah, this is not his normal territory, but right now, they don't have somebody doing his job. Hey, Nina from Illinois. What's the weather like there? They don't have anybody right now in this territory, so his boss asked him to come, and he was perfectly willing to do it. Most of Ronnie's territory is more like the south and southeast coast. So, tell me what's going on in y'all's world. It's going to take a minute to get all this stuff painted, but I think we can get by with one coat for the decoupage because it's on rice paper, so I think it'll be fine. I think this will be enough white to show through here. I was trying to think of something besides those falls that was really, oh my goodness, did I just get that on me? I did. That was really different yesterday. Y'all have gotten in a real bad habit of getting paint all over me, and I didn't used to be that way. Of course, you would know that I didn't bring an apron. So, I literally, if y'all saw my post 2 days ago, I don't know that I have ever been so tired. Moses Lake, Washington. Hey, Tammy. Joy, I have no idea. No idea. I know we're about 2.5 hours south, I think, of Sammamish, and which is close to Seattle. But I have no idea. I've never heard of that place you're talking about, so I wouldn't know. Hey, Bridget. Anyway, I have osteoporosis. I don't know how many of y'all knew that, but I have osteoporosis, and the last bone density test I had, which was just recently, in the past couple of months, was good. I haven't had a reclassed infusion, and I believe this was my 3rd or 4th year to not have a reclassed infusion. I've been, taking calcium and vitamin D. Let me try to move it over closer where y'all can see. Calcium and vitamin D. But I understood from my doctor that if you get reclassed infusions, which they will only give you once a year, and usually they don't like to do it more than about 3 times, but it lasts. It keeps working in your system for like a year or so after even the year after your infusion. It's crazy. So, hey, Blanche. So, anyway, I had a bone density test done, I think 2 years ago. Maybe it was just a year ago. And he said he didn't think I needed another reclass injection, but he thought just keep, taking the vitamin C and D, not vitamin C, calcium and vitamin D. And we would check again in a year. So I went and had my test done this year, and he said that he didn't, it was not, I've really already had all the reclass I'm supposed to have. If he decides in the future that I need something else, he possibly could give me more reclass, but I think they said that they really don't like you having reclass infusions more than, hey sis, yeah, we are in Sunnyside, more than 3 times in your life. So it must be pretty potent if it keeps working for like 1.5 years or 2 years after you get it. So anyway, I don't know if my body is working on a kidney stone, which I've never had, so I don't necessarily think that's it, but that's where a lot of my pain is, in the area of my kidney on the left side. Or if I just have strained it because, getting ready to go on trips and stuff, I pick up suitcases just like Rodney does and, think that I'm King Kong. Usually I'm pretty good about not, but sometimes I just get over industrious and do it anyway. So I don't know if that's it or what, but my back has been really jacked up, and my neck too. Well, anyway, what I was getting around to was our flight from Nashville to Phoenix was over 4 hours. That's where we flew first. And then we had about a 2-hour layover. So we went and got something to eat. And then from there to Portland was another about 3 hours. And I literally, y'all, felt like, and then we got to the Portland airport, and I don't know how many of you have ever been here. If you've been here, I don't know how many of you flew on Southwest, which is my favorite airlines, but I promise you, everywhere we go, hey Connie, including my own home city, Nashville. I guess because Southwest doesn't have a lot of major hubs, they park at the furthest possible gate they could park. Usually when we get back to Nashville, we're somewhere around C24. And it is a hike to get to baggage claim from there. Well, apparently that's true in many airports that Southwest flies into. So when we got to Portland, I told Ronnie, I said, now I hope baggage claim is not very far, because I cannot, even though I've been sitting all that time, I said my back cannot, I can't stand for long anyway when nothing is really hurting. I said, I can't do all this walking. Y'all, if I had been able to clock it, which if my watch had been working, I could have. I know we walked a good mile. Hey, Linda. Hey, Connie. I know we walked a good mile to get to baggage claim. I literally at one point stopped and said, hey, I don't think I can go any further, and that's not me. I was absolutely exhausted and hurting so badly. Fortunately, our hotel was very close to the airport. Okay, we got this covered in white, so I think that's going to be good enough for our base. Cheryl, my sister, how are you? So, fortunately, the hotel was only about 15 minutes, and we came in. Ronnie brought the bags in. I literally came in, took my pants off I had flown in, had my shirt that I had flown in, and my underwear, laid down in the bed, and I think I took a 800 milligram ibuprofen, and I think within 10 minutes max, I was out like a light. Whew, that was rough. And I had posted on my post, have you ever been so tired, hey Deborah, that you want to, yeah, you're right, Alaska is, that you want to cry and you can't? That's how tired I was. I wanted to cry. I couldn't even bring myself to crying if I had really tried. Speaking of that, Kimberly, who is the person that's pictured on the wing or the back side of the plane on Alaska Airlines? Hey, Estelle. Thank you, sis. Ronnie was saying something the other day. He said he looked out there and didn't realize it was Alaska Airlines. And he looked out there and he goes, what airlines is Lincoln's picture on? I looked and I said, honey, that's not Lincoln. I don't know who it is, but it's not Abraham Lincoln. Sorry I'm having to show y'all from the side, but this is a little narrow desk I have to work here on. So, see if I can pull it a little bit more away so you can see all of it. Debbie Burrows Walker, hello. Estelle, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I can tell you this is about the second place Ronnie and I've been in the past couple months where there's nothing to do. I mean, it is a decent sized city. I shouldn't say that. We're out in the country. Not a lot of hotels out here. We're staying in a Best Western Plus or whatever, which I don't think we've ever stayed in. But it's okay. We're used to staying in Hampton Inns, and you know, it's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. So what I want to do, now somebody answer this question for me because I think I've asked it before and I don't remember the answer. If I want to put my rice paper decoupage on here and then I want to crackle over it. Oh, an Eskimo. Okay, that makes sense. It was just a headshot. It wasn't a whole body. Do I have to put a clear coat on it after I decoupage it? Hey, Natalie Marie, before I crackle it, or can I just crackle it? Y'all tell me. Okay, so let's start with the front right here and decide. Y'all tell me which one you think should be on the front. 1, 2, actually 3. I may have to take that back, or 4. I think either 4 or 2 need to be on the front and back because there's a wider space. So let's do this. 1, 2. 1. Hey, Joyce. 2. Hey, Sherry Walton, my sweet sister. Can't wait to see you. Which one y'all think should go on the front? 1 or 2? Paper, then crackle. Now, I know, but what I'm saying is, do I have to put a top coat on here first before I crackle, after I decoupage it? 1 or 2? I see a 2. This is 2. I'm not doing 4s anymore. Those are going to go on the sides because they're thinner. Okay, 1, 2. 1, 2. Nina says 1. I like them both, Kimberly says. Let's go with 1. We don't want to spend a lot of time on that. Okay. So we'll do one right here. Now, what I'm gonna do first, because I don't like the straight edges and I want it to kind of blend, especially since we're going to crackle it. I'm gonna take a brush. These are done on rice paper, okay? I'm gonna take a brush and I'm gonna dip it in the water I have up here. And I'm just gonna kind of go around the edge, away from the edge a little bit, so that hopefully I'll cause as little bleeding of the ink as possible. Rice papers don't tend to bleed as bad as just regular copy paper does. But if you get your water too close to your copy paper, it will bleed in your inks. I did that the other day and it had a cool effect, so I didn't mind it. But sometimes you may not want that, okay? So let me tilt y'all down a little bit so you can see more of what I'm doing. You don't need to see me, especially with no makeup on. And my hair pulled back in a headband. Okay, so see, this will just give it, it'll be more like the rugged edges of the brick. Okay, now let's do the bottom. So our flights were good. Southwest does a really good job, but most of y'all who got on my page know I used to love to fly before I had children. I never thought really about, you know, plane crash or anything. I just loved to fly. Then when Ronnie and I had our kids, we went out of town one time. Well, actually, Jana was the only one at that time, our first. And we went to help lead a marriage encounter weekend, I think in North Carolina. I'm not positive about that, but I think it was in North Carolina. And we were some of the presenters in this marriage encounter weekend. And we left Jana with my parents and my sister who lived at home at the time. And I was an absolute total wreck on that plane. If we hit the least bit of turbulence, I was grabbing Rodney's arm. He was sitting over there reading a book like, you know, it's no big deal. Just don't worry about it. And I would be like, what is happening? What is happening? I just have a bag that I brought from home, a plastic bag. I meant to bring a tablecloth, but I forgot. And he would be like, it's fine, Lisa, it's fine. Hey, fine. But it wasn't fine to me. All I could think of was, what if something happens and I don't get home to my baby? And so anyway, ever since then, of course, then we had more children, and every time we would fly, I just was a wreck. I just didn't like it. I don't like turbulence. I don't like it when it, you know, just goes through some fog or something. I hate that. It just makes me so nervous. So I don't love to fly. I will fly, but I don't love to fly. But after the events of the last week, 2 days in a row, I'm going to be honest and tell y'all, I did not want to fly. I didn't have to. I didn't have to come with Rodney. Clearly, from Tennessee, driving was not an option. We still wouldn't be here if we'd driven. So that wasn't an option. And he told me, he said, if you're really not comfortable and you want to stay home, that's totally fine with me. But I wanted to come and be with him and enjoy the sights and things like that. So I prayed so hard. Hey, Brenda. And y'all, I know that flying is safer than driving. I get all that. But it didn't make me feel a bit better. I'm just going to be honest. It did not make me feel a bit better. Fortunately, we didn't hit a lot of turbulence. We did hit some, but I think I'm going to tear this little part off the bottom because it just kind of sticks out there by itself. So I'm going to tear this off. I love doors. Anybody who knows me well knows that I love to take pictures of doors. Isn't that pretty? If I was really industrious, I would try to continue the brick pattern around on the sides, but I don't think I'm that industrious. I'm going to use this decoupage varnish and glue. We used this at the Sparkle Retreat, and I liked it real well. I usually use Deb's Design Diary DIY Liquid Patina, but I think today I'm going to use this. I have the liquid patina, but why not try this? This may be something new and different that we really like, huh? So I think what I'll do is start at the bottom and just do a little bit at a time so I can hopefully get it laid down well and smooth without any wrinkles. The only plastic bag I have here had my pink and white chalk paint in it, and apparently my pink chalk paint's lid was not tight, and so when we got here, the pink had spilled out onto the pink bottle and onto the white bottle and all in the bag. So this morning I had to go into the sink and try to clean it all up. Always something, y'all, when you're trying to do your crafting mobily, it's always something. All right, let's stop right here. Make sure I don't have any big puddles of it. I have on my shirt I made last year that says love, and I've got some new t-shirts I'm making. I'm not going to be home in time to get a lot of them to people who purchase them before Valentine's, but most of them are not just for Valentine's. Like, I wear mine year round because love is year round, right? Now, the other good thing about rice paper is that you can lift it back up before you seal it down too much if you don't like the placement or if you have an air bubble. And see what I'm doing right here in these little creases? I'm actually, let me show you. I'm creasing the paper in right there and following that line. Hey, Kay, which I think, I know Kimberly, which I think just adds dimension, which y'all know I love. Okay, so I know I do, but you know, most of the time, Kimberly, to be honest, we drive, and y'all know when we're driving, I can craft while we're driving, and I don't know, it's just, I'm just a nervous Nelly, and like I said before I had kids, I loved it. I never thought twice about it. And fortunately, Rodney has flown a lot in his business career and has accumulated so many airline miles, mostly on Southwest, which is fine because we love to fly Southwest. They're going to be changing their rules a little bit, which we don't love, but because he's A-list preferred, because he's traveled with them so much, it's pretty good. And then I travel free with him on a companion pass. All right, so let me mark where that's going to come off because I'll have to trim. I actually wouldn't have to trim it, y'all. I could. Y'all think I should trim this part that's on the top, or should I carry it over and then try to use my scissors and slice? That might look better than just to cut it off, you think? I know. What is wrong with us, Joy? We watch the news, I guess. I guess that's what's wrong with us, because we see the reality of what's happening. And I know. My dad used to tell me all the time, Lisa, flying's so much safer than driving. I get it. I do get it, and I know that to be true. However, when I am on the ground, I have more control than when I'm in the air, where I have zero control. So I make the decisions, part of the decisions when I'm driving on the ground. I'm only responsible for me. But I make those decisions on how well I drive and how I can adapt. And in the air, I can't do that. Kimberly, I think on the top, I'm going to use some of these little IOD transfers to fill them in because they're floral, and I think they would just add a little pop of something. I thought about checking or striping, but to be honest, I'm kind of getting burnt out on checking and striping. Like, I love it, but I don't want to do that all the time. And so, and I think it calls for just a certain piece or a certain look to check it and stripe it. I'm gonna hold this up and let y'all see in a minute how, if you can tell, the edges are all creased in right here, but I love how I have that little crease to give it the dimension inside and out. And then I'm just going over the top with this. So I'm gonna go on and glue this down, and then take my scissors, since I don't have my X-Acto knife, and try to cut, once it's dry, cut along this opening. And that way, when it's closed, it looks like it's just all part of the same picture, which it is. All right, let me set that to the side and I'll show y'all. Can you see how it's kind of indented around the edges to follow the natural pattern? My dad tell me that too. He worked at Boeing for 30 years. Really, Joy? That's where Kimberly is. I think the flowers will be pretty too, sis. All right, let's dry this real quick and then see if I can kind of cut it a little bit along here, because I'll have to open it eventually. I think the flowers will just zhuzh it up some. Since I think all of the windows that I cut out, have flowers on them. Yeah, they do. And then if we want to go back and add a piece or two of bling, we can. 37 years, sis? I had no idea it was that long. It's time for you to retire. Time for you to retire, sis. Retire and travel. You and Big Woo travel. Y'all can travel with us. Y'all, we talked to our financial guy yesterday, our financial advisor planner. We have a yearly meeting with him. And because we were out here, we had to do it on a Zoom call. And so he asked Rodney, like he usually does at the beginning of every conversation, so have you decided when you're going to retire? And Rodney said, well, no, not really. Lisa's not wanting me to retire. Blame it on Lisa. And anyway, Rodney had told his boss that he would give him 6 months notice before he retired, so that he would have time to hire somebody and Rodney could train him. All right, hold on a minute. Hold that thought. Let me see about doing this. It's making me nervous. Let's start over here. That part's not really down good. Let me see if I can open it and then touch it up where it needs to be touched up with the glue. Yikes, y'all. Yikes, yikes. Uh-oh. Oh, it did it. Okay. So, we did it. Now let's just take care of these little pieces here. We'll know we got a good adhesion. Anyway, so we were talking to David, and so Rodney said that about Lisa don't want me to retire, blah blah blah. It's not that I don't want him to retire. If he wants to retire, then he needs to be able to retire. But he has got such a great job. A lot of people would be very envious of his job. And he is such a valued employee to them. I know that for a fact. He knows that. And Rodney loves what he's doing. He loves it. Hey, Margaret. Welcome, welcome. My dad retired there in 92. Is one of the first employees. Wow. Rodney has been with the whole corporation, not at A.O. Smith directly, but the corporation owns some other businesses too. He's been with that whole corporation since we got married in 80, so either 80 or 81. 10, 20, so 45 years, I think. So it's a great deal. And he loves what he does, and he's good at what he does. So why should he quit what he does, right? Right now, I get to travel with him a lot, see lots of the parts of the world, primarily the U.S., but, I get to do that a lot with him. So why would we stop that? You know what I'm saying? Does that sound selfish? Okay, let's do this side right here, which also has some brick on it. So anyway, what I was going to finish telling you was our financial advisor said, I love that. I love what you all have just said. I love the fact that you love what you're doing, and I love the fact that you're not in a hurry to retire. He said, now having said that, when you want to retire, as long as you've worked, you certainly have deserved to retire. But he said, when we were telling him, you know, how we were in Washington State, or going to Washington State, and what we were going to be doing, if he was going to be working, and blah, blah, blah. He said, I love this, because he said, I'm going to tell y'all, the past month has been brutal for me. Because, you know, when financial planners start working with people, a lot of times it's people like us who are in their older years. I mean, he's been our financial advisor for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years anyway. You know, where we finally took everything to him and said, you invest, you do this, you do that. And everything is in one place. So when we pass away, you know, whichever one of us does pass, it's all in one place. Or if we, God forbid, pass it at the same time, our kids can have it. But anyway, they've done, you know, they take care of our insurance. I mean, everything. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And it's a Christian-based company, Beacon Capital Management. And they're all Christian-based. In fact, one of the 2 guys that started it, I used to work for him. And so when we got ready to do this, I called him and said, you know, we need some advice and some help. He said, come on. So he's now semi-retired, so he's turned us over to David, who we absolutely love. And so he said yesterday, he said, you have no idea how this warms my heart, because I have had, I think he said 4 people in the past, whatever time period, recent time period, have 2 of them have died. 1 of them has gone through a divorce. And I forget what he said about the other one. Real sick or something. I don't remember. But y'all, it's so sad. And he said to hear people like you guys talk and, you know, love being together and love, you know, not necessarily being in retirement, but just doing the things you love. He said, it warms my heart so much. And I just want to, you know, thank you all for blessing me, because he said, when I make that yearly phone call with my clients, you know, for an update or a visit with them, he said, I never know what I'm going to hear. And he said, it's hard. It's hard when you've had clients for a long time and you know them and you know a lot about them, and then all of a sudden they're gone. And so that made us feel good. We love him dearly, and he always blesses us. And he was just very, you know, complimentary of our portfolio and how things were going, and, you know, proud of us and all that. It's good to hear that and have that affirmation in a day and time where there's a whole lot of not affirmation, which I guess would be non-affirmation. I'm not sure what you'd call that, but not affirmation is probably not it. You grew up in Seattle? I've been to Seattle a couple of times. Flew through there going to Canada. And I'm going to be going and seeing my sweet Kimberly when we go to Alaska this summer. Staying a day or 2 with she and her husband. So I'm excited about that. Okay, so this one is going to overlap a little bit, which I'm totally cool with. Because, like I said, it kind of carries over the brick on that side. And then on this side, it will carry over. And if I decide I don't like it with what we put on this back side, then I can cut it off. That's awesome, Joy. We, Boeing, will be celebrating our 110th anniversary next year. We have had some rough spots recently, starting to turn things around. Yay, 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 Kimberly. Okay, so now let's go to this one. And again, we're just going to do part of it. Make sure we have it very smooth. So anyway, it's good when you can bless someone and they tell you that you have blessed them. And it's good. Good when people brag on you and, you know, compliment you. We all need that, y'all. This day and time, we all need to hear some good news and some affirmations. We need some daily affirmations, don't you think? Everybody. I don't care what business you're in. I don't care what your political standards are, or, you know, what your color, right? I don't care about all that. I just know that we all need affirmations. In today's world, especially, when we feel like we get beat down all the time, it's good to be lifted up. And sometimes when I look on social media, I almost can't take a lot of time and stop and read posts, because there are some people that are, pardon the expression, hell-bent and determined to drag us down as much as they possibly can regularly. And I don't have any respect for people like that. I don't want them on my page posting things that are going to be Debbie Downers, so to speak. If you can't say something nice and positive, then don't say anything. Okay, I'll hold this up in just a sec and let you see it. I need to look at this other side to see if I got it secured down. I think this is going to be so much better than the box I had, even though I told you I really didn't mind the box I had. I thought it was kind of cute the way it was done. Somebody took some time on hand painting it. And I want to do that sometime on something. I want to do some kind of whimsical flowers. All right, let me cover this up real quick. COVID really did a lot of damage. That's right, for sure. I know I talked to my friend Kathy the other day. There's another bubble right there. Hold on now. And I may not be able to get that back up without ripping it. She has got to start going back to her actual office and working instead of working from home. And it's gonna, I'm gonna really be messing that up. Hold on, let me see if I can figure out how to get some more glue under here without messing it up too bad. Ah, don't you do that. Y'all, woo! Sorry. Man. I messed it up. Oh well, we'll make sure a flower comes down over that. We'll just be sure we have a floral right there. See where I messed it up at the top? But I can put a floral there. So we got this side, we got this side. What was I even saying? I don't know. I got myself all messed up now because I messed up my piece. Somebody tell me what I was talking about. Encouraging each other, and I've been talking about that. We had when I used to, hey Sandra, I know sis. When I used to teach preschool, we had a song that said, encourage one another and build each other up, build each other up, build each other up, encourage one another and build each other up, 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 up. Encourage one another, don't tear each other down, tear each other down. Tear each other down. See how I'm going down with the song too? Encourage one another. Don't tear each other down. Down, 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 down. So I would use that as a lesson for my little preschoolers to tell them that we need to encourage one another and not tear each other down. There's a whole lot of that going on today. We don't need any help. I'm just throwing my scrap paper on the floor, and once I get it cut out, I'll see how much more I want to tear off. But so far, I haven't had any ink bleeding, so that's good. Did you? I did. I made this shirt last year, Kimberly. Sure did. And oh, I was going to tell y'all this. So, if y'all were on my live Sunday morning, dark and early, I was on at 7 a.m. my time, which I think here would be like 4 or 5. But we were leaving that day and I was in an event. So, I made the cutest little t-shirt with cupids all over it to wear because it was a Valentine's event. And had on black pants, had my sweatshirt around my waist because I knew I was going to need something on the plane. And so we stopped on our way into the airport to get some breakfast. And I got French toast sticks from Wendy's, which, by the way, I used to get a lot, and they were delicious. These were terrible. It was a whole different recipe, and I did not like it. Not a big French toast person anyway, but if I'm going to eat it, I want it to be kind of, you know, crispy, and these tasted real eggy. They just were not, I don't know if they've changed their recipe or it was just that one Wendy's or what, but it was terrible. Anyway, we were eating in the car. And I used the sack that the food came in as kind of a placemat for my lap. And we get to the airport and get out of the car to unload. And Rodney goes, "What is on your leg?" And y'all, somehow, some of that syrup, hey Dan, hey Sheila, was going down my leg. It was all in my seat. It was on the back of the sweatshirt I had wrapped around me to wear on the plane where I had been sitting. So then it was all on that. Oh my gosh. It was the biggest mess you have ever seen. It was horrible. And I said, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? It was all over me. I had some running down my shirt. I still don't know what happened because I used the sack as a placemat. But I had the syrup in my container that the French toast was in. And then when I got through, I wadded everything up and put it down in that sack and wadded the sack up. So when we got to the airport, I could just throw it away in the trash can. Well, guess what? There wasn't much left in the bag because it was all on the car seat. It was all on my clothes. And so fortunately, Rodney had a bottle of water in the trunk. And we had to open my suitcase to get some paper towels out that I was bringing to craft with. And then he goes, "What are you going to do?" I said, "I'm going to change my clothes." So he opened my big suitcase right there on the ground. And I literally got clothes out and stood right there. He was trying to kind of hide me. And I was praying that nobody could see me. And right in the middle of taking my pants off to change my pants, Rodney goes, "Of course, you know, they got security cameras in here." And I was like, "Oh, fabulous, fabulous." So, yeah, I guess that day I probably literally showed my bottom. Hey, Cheryl. Hey, Clara. Sandy Stanley, my sweet sister Sandy. Cover up that one green flower I have coming over here. So anyway, I got my clothes changed, and of course my good, nice, new Valentine shirt that I had just made is now back in the Nashville airport, covered in one section in pancake syrup. I was so mad. And I looked kind of cute that day. I had put makeup on for the event, and you know, I thought, this is good. I'll have my makeup on because normally, y'all, when we take flights out and we're just going to be going straight to a hotel, I'm a fool with makeup. Why should I put makeup on? Who am I trying to impress? So I don't normally do that. And so, but I was in that event that day, so I thought, okay, I'm going to get up extra early this morning. I'm going to put my makeup on. And then I'll even look decent in the airport. And I'll have my new shirt on so people can see it. Yeah. Well, I didn't get into the airport with that cute shirt, that's for sure. So, only people on the live that day got to see it. But it's cute. It has 4 little cupids across it. I know. You know, it's always something. Could have been a lot worse, so counting my blessings that it wasn't any worse than it was, but I was so mad at myself. I still haven't figured it out. I still don't know how in the world it got through the paper bag and all on the seat. So I had to stand there and clean Rodney's seat with a paper towel. I mean, the passenger seat, and then it was all on my fingers where I was trying to clean it up, so my fingers were sticking. Oh, it was such a mess. Fortunately, Rodney had that bottle of water. He said, "Are you just going to wear that outfit?" And I go, "Heck no, I'm not going to wear this outfit. I can't go sit on an airplane with this stuff running down the pant legs." You would love to learn how. You would love to learn how to do what, sis? Hey, Patty. Tell me, sister, what would you love to learn how to do? Come on, air bubbles, come out of there. I have no baggie with which to push you out. And I meant to bring my little travel iron, craft iron. Forgot about that too. Okay, see, they're kind of just melding into each other on the sides fine. Sorry. That was a reminder that I was supposed to be signing up for an event right now. Okay, so now we will do the last one. And then we'll talk about, then we got a crackle. That's going to be interesting. I hope it works like I want it, like I visualize it working. Auntie Louie, hello. Listen, Kimberly, honey. What is it Debbie Riggs says? Even a monkey could do it. My grandchildren could do it. It's literally iron-on. And you get a t-shirt and you lay the pattern on there and you iron it on. I don't even have a heat press. I just use an iron. And most of the ones I have, you don't even have to use a, like a, what do you call it, Teflon pad or anything on it. You just iron right on it. Yes, the hotel does have a dryer in the room. Why? Why are you asking? Why, Joy? I'm curious now. Hello, Ruby Moss. Welcome. We are making a double wine box holder that could be used for anything. I don't drink wine, so, I mean, there's one wine, a Moscato, I'll drink if I'm going to have wine, but it has to be a sweet dessert wine, otherwise I don't want it. Did you design the graphic? Well, sort of. I am, for this, no. For this, not really. I have bought a program so that I can design more rice papers with and use some of their graphics and then some of my own. And this was actually one of the graphics in that program. These doors were, or windows. But my shirt, no, I just bought the, bought it already made. Simple. There's my sister Brenda. Hey, sis. How are you? Okay, we've almost got, hey, Lynn, we've almost got all 4 sides done. Then we can crackle, and while it's crackling, I can put a clear coat on the top and the sides where we need it and go on and start doing the transfers. Now, I did not bring rub and buff, so I won't be able to rub and buff over the hardware. But that's okay. I can do that at home. Do y'all ever find that when you get on and you watch a crafter making something and they say, oh, I got this such and such, this part at Dollar Tree or Hobby Lobby, and then you go in there and they don't have it in yours? That is so aggravating to me. And I have been looking for these big hearts. Thank you for those stars, sis. I appreciate you so much. I've been looking for these big styrofoam hearts, big fat ones, that I've seen crafters using to craft with, that they said they got at the Dollar Tree. Y'all, my Dollar Tree, you've heard me say it before, I'm not ashamed of it. My Dollar Tree is crap. I cannot. Every time I'm in there, they are out of stuff. They have boxes upon boxes upon boxes sitting out in aisles to be opened, and I guess not enough employees to do it. It is awful. So, I know I'm never going to be able to find anything like that at my Dollar Tree. So whenever I'm out of town, I go to other Dollar Trees. And last night, I went to a Dollar Tree here, and it's a big one. It's a Dollar Tree Plus, but it's a huge, huge Dollar Tree. I've never seen one quite that big. Yeah, I can do that. And so, they didn't have them. There's another one around here I can look at, but that happens to me quite often. People will say, oh, I got this at Dollar Tree, or I got this at Hobby Lobby. And then I go to my Dollar Tree or Hobby Lobby, and they'll have it. So aggravating. Jenny Rudder, hello, hello. Cool chalkboard frame. I just don't. Why can't they sell the same things at every Dollar Tree? Why does there have to be some exclusivity or something at some Dollar Trees? I think, really, truth be known, I think the main thing is, if you don't get there pretty soon after they put stuff out, you're not going to get it. Because I don't think they're real good about restocking it. I think what you see is what you get right then, and if you don't get it, sorry about your luck. That's what I think. But mine, the problem with mine is, some of the time, by the time they get it open, the season or the holiday's almost over. It's just crazy. I'm hoping that maybe that'll change soon and they'll get more employees. Plus, mine is not a Dollar Tree Plus either. I don't know that they'll ever, because they can't handle just being a Dollar Tree right now, let alone a Plus. Now, I'm going to let this go right over this hinge, if y'all can see it, because when it opens, it'll just crease that down, I think, and if not, we'll trim it up. I'm excited to get all this on here and see how it's going to look. Y'all know, if you were on my live the other day, I said this. If you're doing a decoupage like this, and if your surface, like in this case it's my box, is not a very light, like white or off-white color, you need to paint it. Then, if your decoupage paper itself is not very light and you feel like it's still gonna not show as well, the colors are not gonna show as well on your piece, then turn your decoupage paper, hey Nancy, turn your decoupage paper over and paint white on the back of it. And then dry it real well. Then you can decoupage it down and the colors will stick out. Actually, I could have cut that off because that's just white. So when I use my rub and buff to do the hinges and stuff, I probably will go on and cover over that white. I didn't get that one on totally straight, but I think it's okay. Okay, so see, we have overlap on all the sides, which is fine. This one needs to be glued down a bit better. I think I need to put some glue under here. Okay, there we go. What do y'all think? You like it? Looks totally different, doesn't it? I'm feeling maybe a little bit better, Nancy, but I'm not in a great spot, that's for sure. I have just, I think, done a number on my neck and back way too long. Hey Dottie, how are ya? Welcome in. So glad you're here. Now you all also know that I do not like white. So I do have my Bear Antique Wax, and I will go over just the areas that are super white. I won't go over my prints, but any other area that's super white, I will go over. But I'm wondering, do y'all think I should do that before I crackle? I still am not clear as to whether or not I need a top coat on before I crackle the papers or not. Does anybody know? Do I need to put a top coat on or the wax? Who is that? Kimberly Wool, he's home from hospital and feeling better after 2 transfusions. His hemoglobin is up to 8.4. He just needs to work on getting his energy back. Sherry, who are we talking about? Who are we talking about? I want to pray for him. Now I got to get something to drink. Oh, hey, Carolyn. Who can do some research for me? Okay, y'all tell me who Sherry's talking about. Who's going to do some research for me and see if I need a top coat on before I crackle? Now, I'm going to use, I know it's backwards, but Facebook did that to us, the Pent Art Fine Line Crackle and Varnish. It's 2 steps. But I really need to know, do I need to put a top coat on here first, a sealer, before I crackle it? Somebody please find out for me. And I think I'll go on and crackle the top 2 at the same time and then put the transfers on. Anybody? Does anybody know? When you're using fine line crackle, make sure you use a completely dry, soft brush when applying both steps, a different brush for each step, and dry it thoroughly. Ideally, you would dry it for several hours or overnight, but nobody has time for that. So step 1 is white. And when you first put it on, it's white. It dries clear. Okay? So we're going to go on and start putting step 1 on. You don't want to mess with it too much. Now on this paper, and this the wood is kind of rough in spots, I will have to make sure that I've got a really good coat on there because I want it to crackle well. So you don't want to be cheap with this fine line crackle. You want to make sure. Sometimes I'll have to turn it in a certain light to make sure that everything is covered well, because I have been known to not get everything covered, and then there's places where there's no crackle, which is fine. I mean, when you look at stuff that's old, it's not going to be crackle in, you know, uniformity everywhere. But it just kind of bothers me because I want it to all crackle, and then I'm like, you didn't do it right, Lisa. Hey, Carol Stinson. Google said no. Thank you, Nancy. I'm glad because I've already started. Carol Stinson, good to see you. How are you feeling these days, sis? Let us know. Y'all, last night while we were at dinner, I was looking on Facebook and found out that a friend that we have known for years and years, and I did not know about this, but he apparently a couple of years ago lost sight his something happened with his optic nerve. Before you can crackle medium instead, okay, good. Well, this is going to be my base coat. My base coat is my papers. So, anyway, he and his wife have been doing a lot of traveling lately, I noticed. And she's a nurse, and she lost her mom, a couple of years ago, I think. And so she and John, her husband, moved in with her dad, that lived right down the street from me. And her dad apparently is having heart failure issues. And so she's been tending to him while working full time. And John apparently has had for years an undiagnosed condition that has messed, I think they said, with the muscles or something in his legs. So he's been walking like with a cane. And the other morning he woke up and couldn't see out of the other eye and his good eye, and they went to the doctor, and the doctor says the news is not good. I don't think you'll ever regain sight in that eye. So now he's lost vision in both eyes, so they've set up a GoFundMe because they're going to have to, redo part of their home that they're living in for him to be able to access things as a non-seeing person. And she's going to have to continue working and taking care of her father, who's having heart issues, and now her husband, who's blind in both eyes. And it just makes me sick. If they're in their 60s, they're in their young 60s. They have one grandchild, and it just makes me ill. See, I can see when I turn in the light, I could see right here around this hardware. I had not gotten any yet, nor right up there. So it's always good to turn it around, and I see right there some bubbles where it didn't lay down. So when I get home and this is fully dry, I will use my iron on it. And when you put the iron on it, I'll put a piece of Teflon paper on it first to cover it. When you put the iron on it, what it does is reactivates the glue under there so that you can then iron the wrinkles down. Hello, Lisa Corby, my sweet sister. How are you? I miss you. I can't wait to see you at Dina's. Give you a hug. We're going to have so much fun at Dina's. There's going to be so many cool people there. Oh, this stuff is sticky too, but you have to make sure before you do step 2 that it is, as my art teacher used to say, completely dry. I don't know where she came up with some of these terms, but when we were taking, my friend Vicki and I were taking watercolor lessons from her, and she said, now, make sure before you put down another color that your paper is completely dry. She would say it that way every time, completely. We also had, y'all probably heard me use this term, but we had a girl in our art class. Her name's Lucinda, God rest her soul, and she would hear Gail, the teacher, saying to somebody, now, you've worked that paint a lot, so you need to be real careful. And Lucinda would say, don't over booger it. So sometimes when I'm painting, I'll say something about, I don't want to over booger it. Lucinda would remind me, don't over booger it. You have to think about that when you're creating. You don't want to over booger anything. Sometimes, however, I think over boogering can be good. Depends on what you're over boogering and how you're doing it. It's kind of a gross term, but it really kind of fit when we were doing watercolor. It was cute because she'd hear Gail, don't mix those colors up. You keep mixing, you're going to get mud. You have to be careful which colors you put together to mix, or you'll end up getting mud. that's another thing I'm going to be doing, hopefully, either this trip or next week when I'm in Kentucky with my scrapbooking friends. I'm going to be doing some more watercolor. My husband has been on me. You need to be doing more watercolor. I'm going to do some in my journal and maybe just do a watercolor painting. It's been a long time and I love it so much. So I need to get back into it and just do it, like Nike says. Just do it, Lisa. All right, I think we've got that pretty, I see right there, I missed some spots. Pretty well covered. Brings out the colors of these too. All right, so got to dry now. Hello, Della, how are you? Got to dry this, and I'm just hoping this is going to work, y'all. I have no idea. I have no idea if this paper will crackle or not, but I hope it will. So y'all tell me about the weather where you are. It's really overcast here. There's a little bit of blue sky showing, but you know, I read some reports that say maybe a little rain and snow today, and then other reports say just partly cloudy, so who knows. Thank you, Carol. I appreciate that. I've always loved doors and windows. I've got, I don't know how many pictures and albums on my phone and on Facebook, and back when we had to print pictures, I can't tell you how many doors and windows I have, a lot. Thank you, Debbie. 78 in Southeast Georgia. Is it sunny? I met Carol Stinson one time, y'all. You hadn't heard that story? Ronnie and I were on our way on a trip, business trip. Hey, Sue. And stopped to go to the grocery store to pick up a few groceries to nibble on. And I got out of the car first to start walking in, and I hear this voice say, no, I walked in. That's what I did. I walked in, then Rodney came in after me. And we did our shopping, and he was paying for it, so I started walking out to the car. I love old doors and windows. I also look for those prints a lot. Well, get in touch with me, and I'll tell you about the prints. And so I came out before Rodney. He was still paying. And as I'm walking to our rental car, I hear this voice go, Lisa. Now, I forget the name of the town she's in, but it Brunswick. We were in Brunswick, Georgia. And I thought, okay, I'm in Brunswick, Georgia. Who is calling my name? And I look over, and this lady's walking toward me, and she's waving. And she comes over, and she goes, I'm one of your followers. I said, what? And she goes, yeah, my name's Carol Stinson. And I went, oh my gosh. And she said, I saw you when you walked in. And I thought to myself, is that Lisa Seiler? Then I think she said, no, surely not down here in Brunswick. And she said, and then she had seen Rodney when he was going in with his long hair. Y'all know my husband's like a hippie. He's not really like a hippie, but he looks like a hippie. And she said then she saw him come back out, or she saw him going in. So when she saw me coming out, she thought that has to be him. So I was just tickled pink. It was like, that is so cool to be somewhere where you've never been before, and you're just running in to get groceries, and somebody that follows your page says hello. I loved it. Loved it, loved it. I've met several of my followers, and it's so much fun. That's probably the best thing about the crafting community to me, is the relationships that form and have been formed as a result of crafting, that probably otherwise I never would have met or known. Love it. Okay, so that's still pretty sticky up there. This is not a quick process, y'all, but I'm going to keep on keeping on. Step number 2 will go faster because the step number 2 is not as thick. But I'm going to do step number 2 the other direction. Step number 1, I went up and down. Step number 2, I'm going to go side to side. this morning when I went down to breakfast. I got a bowl of oatmeal and put the toppings in it. And I got an English muffin and I toasted it and got some butter and brought that back up here to my room so that I could have that for lunch. I could just stick it in the microwave and reheat everything. Hey, Jennifer Martin. Reheat everything and have my lunch. Ronnie got me some chips last night. He got some Oreos, and we have some water enhancers. So I told him, don't you worry about a thing, I'll be fine. I've had my coffee. I brought some more creamers in here so I can go to the lobby and get some more coffee if I need to. I will be fine. I'll be crafting, I'll be reading, I'll be watching TV, I'll be taking a nap, babying my poor old achy back. I'll be fine. All right, let me take the heat off of it for a minute and see how it feels. Still just a little bit sticky on top, so I want to make sure I get that well. And I don't know what we'll do for dinner. We'll go out. Last night we went to a real good place called The Barbecue here. I don't think it's been around very long. And that place was huge. It was built like a log cabin, a big log cabin. But Ronnie thought it was so interesting because they had the big industrial vents hanging from the ceiling. So, you know, that kind of was like log cabin and industrial vents. That's interesting. But that place was gigantic. I bet it would seat 300-400 people. And so we went there, and it was good. It was really good. Well, we're not sure, Carol. We'll at least be here tonight. He had thought that it was probably going to take him probably at least 2 days to get the job done. It was like 20 heaters he has to work on. So he figured 2 days minimum. And then he found out that something about the electricity, I don't know, wasn't going to be hooked up or whatever, and there's something else he needs to do after the electricity gets hooked up. So I don't know if we'll stay longer for that or if he'll have to come back or what. I leave next Wednesday, a week from this Wednesday, for a girls' weekend at the lake. And so I have to be home at least by Tuesday, preferably Monday, to wash clothes and just kind of get stuff together for that trip, because I'll have to unpack from this trip and then get ready for another trip. Okay, so now we're going to do step 2 of the fine line crackle and varnish. And I'm going to use another, that one's not too soft, clean, dry brush. I guess I'll use that one. It's not very big, but we'll try it. Now, like I said, this time I'm going to go side to side. I'm going to start at the top. Try to make sure I get it in those little divoted areas, if that's a word. So Puxatawny Phil saw his shadow or didn't see. I don't understand how that works. I thought if he saw his shadow, that meant that sunshine was here and so winter was almost over. But then I heard somebody say if he sees his shadow, then that means 6 more weeks of winter. I've never understood fully how that works, but anyway, I did hear the so-called professionals finally say that I will enjoy my time, Carol. I love them. That it meant 6 more weeks of winter. So who knows? But y'all know I'm a winter kind of gal. I love it. Love it, love it. I can always layer more clothes and get warmer, but there's just so many clothes you can take off in the summer. I'm not a hot weather kind of gal. Okay, I'm going to just, I'm going to go up and down and then come back over it sideways, okay? So I'm trying to get down in those little grooves where I put the paper down there. And we'll see if this works. If not, what's the worst that can happen? It's got an extra clear coat on it. That's about all I can say. I think it'll be fine either way. If it crackles, it'll just be the icing on the cake. But if it doesn't, that's okay too. Not a big deal. Hey, Sherry Lynn. Y'all tell me in the comments, what is your state where you are, and what is your state flower? My state is Tennessee, and my state flower is the iris, which I love and used to have several of, as did my mom, who lived on the same property, until one year my son-in-law, and really my husband too, I think, my ex-son-in-law, and my husband decided that, you know, all this malarkey that Lisa says we need to do as far as how to cut back irises is just malarkey. We're just going to mow them down. So they did. Guess what? Never came back. I was not a happy camper. What do you mean you mowed them down? Lisa, it takes too long to sit there and cut them on the diagonal and block. I said, that's how you keep them growing. It's crazy. But my mother had black. There was a lady that used to go to her church that did not have 2 dimes to rub together, you guys. But my mother was so good to her, and she loved my mom almost like she was her mom. And Mildred had a green thumb. She was really good with plants. And she knew how much my mom loved irises. And so every year when she would get that catalog, I forget what the name of the catalog is. Some of y'all that have a green thumb, because I don't, you'll know which one I'm talking about. She would get that catalog and she would go in and order my mother some of the most unique irises you have ever seen in your life. Mother had a deep, deep black one, which I loved. And then she had a real deep, like a, I guess, for lack of a better word, it's almost like a wine or a burgundy color. Oh, my lands. It was so pretty. And, yeah, those got mowed down at the top of the hill, too. They did. So, I was not happy. I think my mother may have already... Well, I was going to say, I think my mother had already passed, but I don't think so. Because my ex-son-in-law was still there and doing a lot of the mowing. So, I haven't gone back and planted anymore because even though my ex-son-in-law's not in the picture anymore, I'm scared to death. Well, now we have somebody mowing our yard who knows more about landscaping. He's dating my granddaughter, so maybe I could trust him with it. But I told Rodney, I said, I'm not going to plant anymore because you'll come along and mow them down again. He just wanted to get the yard mowed down. He didn't want to take the time to be careful around the flowers. I also had tulips, beautiful tulips. My niece, or our niece, her husband is from Amsterdam and is a tulip salesman. And so every year for a few years, she would send us a list of, you know, which kind he could get his hands on if any of us in the family wanted to order them. And so I ordered them several years, and they're gorgeous. They're so pretty. But I do not have a green thumb, y'all. I'll just go stick them in the ground. You know, I really don't pay that much attention. I would read the directions on how to best plant them and, you know, make them grow and all that. But neither Ronnie or I have a green thumb. Neither one of us like yard work. And so, therefore, we did the bare minimum. Rodney would mow when he had to, and that was about it. I want a pretty yard. I love where we live, and I would love to have a beautiful yard down there. you know, with flowers and bushes and shrubbery and stuff, but I don't want to have to put forth the work to do it. And neither does Rodney. So we just, I mean, there's some pretty parts of it, but we just kind of let it go. Okay, it looks like the comments have stopped. Can y'all maybe get some comments going again? Throw some hearts, some thumbs up, something to get things moving again. Let's get this dry and see if it crackles. Then we can put some transfers on here. Maybe what I'll do is put the bare wax on first. Thank you for those hearts. Put the bare wax on first and get this bright white covered, and then we'll do transfers. Hey, Sharon Smith. And then, like I said, I won't be able to do anything to the hardware until we get back home because I didn't bring any rub and buff. Thank you for those hearts. Hey, Sharon. I do have some gold paint, but I don't think the paint would work as well. I've got a cigar box over here I want to do, and I've got some paper for that. And then I've got my journal I want to work in, and I want to show y'all some things I want to do in my journal. That'll be for another day, but I did bring that. I'll probably work on that this afternoon while Rodney's working. Hey, Deborah. Koretkowski? Koretkowski, is that right? Koretkowski? Y'all, I get called all kinds of names. Siller, Sliver, Slyer, Siler. I see some cracking going on the white, that's for sure. And occasionally somebody will get it right. Now, I also don't have white wax, which if this works over this paper, a white or gold wax would probably be better at bringing out the crackle. But since I'm going to use the bare antique brown on the rest of it, I think if it crackles over the paper, I want to use that same thing. I do too, Carol. I love decorating with them. I remember back in the day when it was fashionable to make them into purses and people would carry them. Y'all, it wouldn't carry half the stuff I have in my bag if I tried to carry one today, a cigar box purse. It would not work. But there's so much you can do with them. I have the biggest mess up here, and you should see the floor. I told housekeeping not to come today, so it's probably a good thing, because if they walked in, they'd probably keel over. What in the world? Every time we leave a place and I've been crafting, Ronnie goes, "Oh, I bet the housekeeping people are really going to love being in here." Hello, Miss Brittany. How are you? My daughter's name is Brittany, and she spells it almost exactly like you, but only one T. Britney. Her middle name is Ann. Brittany Ann. I don't know if y'all were like this or not growing up, but when I was growing up, if I heard my middle name, I knew I was in trouble. My middle name's Ann too, so if I heard Lisa Ann, I thought, whoops, I'm in trouble. I do love these papers. I think they're so pretty. Y'all, some of the, like cigar boxes, I was in a thrift store. I can't remember where we were. It's been 2 or 3 years ago. We were out of town. I think I was actually maybe with some crafters. I don't think it was in Kansas City. Anyway, I forget where we were, but we found a ton of cigar boxes, but they wanted a lot of money for those things. It's kind of like when you go in Goodwill now. I don't know about y'all's Goodwill, but when I go on my Goodwill now, the prices are really way higher than they should be. Trying to see if I can see crackle in the decoupage paper, and I'm not sure I'm seeing any yet. Of course, I don't have any glasses on either, but I don't yeah, there's a little, yeah, a little bit. See it right there. I just don't see a lot. Let me see if I see any on here. You have to kind of hold it. I'm holding it in the glare coming in from the window to see if I can see any crackle. We'll see what happens when we put the Bear Antique Wax on it. The box is kind of coming apart down here a little bit. It's got a little crack in it. That just adds to the ambiance, I think. All right, let's get the Bear Antique Wax up here. I just get this at Home Depot. And I think I brought a stencil brush to put it on here with, but I'm not seeing it. Okay. Nope, we will just use a paper towel. Wipe it off with that one. All right, so I'm just going to put some on my paper towel. And rub it up here. Of course, the idea is to make it look old. So I usually do little sections at a time and then rub it off. I'll hold it up and let you see the crackle right there. It did good on this part. Okay. Can you see the crackle in there? Crafting for the Soul. Hello. Hey, Jean. Can y'all see it? Okay. So now, I'm going to go down the side right here. There's not a lot on this paper that's super white. But I like it so much better when it's not bright white. I'll put just a little over here. Okay, let's see. Wipe it off a little bit. And come up this side. The shine is really pretty on it, so I don't have to put a top coat on it now. Okay. I don't see a lot of crackle on there, but right over here, let me move this before I spill it. Right over here by these leaves, you can see a little crackle. All right, let's do the side. Oh yes, great job, pretty, thank you. And come down here, that white part, down here. I'll move this over here so I don't have to reach so far. And up there. Yeah, I don't see a whole lot of crackle on the paper itself, which is fine. The rest of it's crackle. I think when we get these transfers on here, we're really gonna like it. Okay. So just use what you have on hand. You know, since a lot of my crafting is done on the road, sometimes I have to get real creative. And I don't bring everything. And what's so difficult sometimes is you know, I pack stuff to bring depending on what projects I think I'm going to do, but I don't always know exactly what project I want to do. So then I feel like I have to pack more to be sure I'm prepared. It's like with clothes. Robbie always says, I get by with one little bag and you've got so many bags. Why are you taking so many clothes? All you need is your bikini and your cover-up. That's what he says, your bikini and your cover-up. And I said, women aren't like that. We don't know weeks ahead of time what we want to wear. We have to have choices. Well, it's the same way with crafting. I don't necessarily know what all craft ideas I'm going to be doing. So I feel like I have to go prepared, but you know, there is a 50-pound weight limit to your suitcases. Fortunately, on Southwest, we get 2 bags free. Did you say where you got that box from? I got it from Goodwill, Joy. It was $4.99. Just took the sticker off this morning, and I've had it for years in my craft room. Just didn't know what I was going to do with it, and I was down there the other day, and I thought, you know what? I need to do something with that. Sell it and be done with it. So that's what I'm doing. It'll be for sale on my page once it's finished. Okay, let me show y'all this. See the crackle? Again, not much on the picture. Now hold it to the side. I can see a little bit. Let me go over this one a little bit and see if any crackle shows up, even though I said I wasn't going to go over the top of those. Nope, don't see any there. Okay, last side. Then we can work on our transfers and then we'll be done. Unless we decide we want to put something else on here. Y'all got any other suggestions of anything else we could do besides the transfers? And like I said, when I get home, I'll be rubbing, buffing these pieces of hardware. I may even try to do them pretty much the same color, just touch them up. Just gonna go on and go over that one too and see if I see any crackle. Do you seal before or after you add crackle? Well, that's what I was trying to get people to help me know earlier. And Nancy Lewis looked it up and said, no, you don't have to seal it first. I may not even put a flower over that boo-boo right there because I kind of like it. So, and I'm not going to seal it now, Kimberly, because, and there is some crackle in here, because with the 2-step crackle, it's so varnished looking. I don't think it needs another coat. I'm going to see if I can get this crackle up close to y'all to see on the paper. It's right here in this window. Y'all see any crackle in that? Just a little bit. Okay. All right, so I think we have all of our antique waxing done. Get it a little bit more out of some of these cracks where it's stuck in there hard. Okay. Now we're going to work on some transfers. Love the trip you took us on to the falls. I'm so glad, Stephanie. It was beautiful there. All right, let me get that white out of here and wipe my hands. Wouldn't necessarily have to have transfers on it, but the top is kind of plain, so I think we will use some of these IOD transfers, some little florals, add molds or trim on the edges. Well, you mean right here? I'm going to put some transfers on here on the top and maybe let some of them kind of cascade down over it. All right, so I hope, y'all hold on, let me see if my transfer stick is in my transfers. I don't see it out here. have 2 sets of transfers. Let me see if this one has one. Nope. Well, that may be a problem. We'll do the best we can with what we got. Okay, so here's what I was thinking. My whole family is from Oregon. It's so beautiful. It is. Okay, now some of these are way too big. But these are getting more reasonable. So I think something like this, or something like this one, this one. The red might look pretty right there to pick up the red. Or this one. Let's see what else we have. Okay, this one's too big. Too big. I could use some of the leaves, but this one might not. No, that's probably too big too. Here's another small one. All right, let's take this out. I think we're going to get them from these. Okay, so even to do it on an angle, kind of like those red ones on the front where the red is. So let's cut it out. And since I don't have my stick, we're going to have to be real creative here, y'all. And these lines that are on this paper will help you line it up. Okay. Y'all like that? Yes? I have some thin leather trim from Amazon. May not need it after the flowers. Let's see. Yeah, I brought the papers over on part of the trim. All right, let's do this one. See if we can make it work. Now you do, if you're using transfers, you do need a top coat on, okay? All right, I'm gonna have to lay it down, you guys. Can y'all see? Yeah. Push it down with your fingers. Y'all may have to hold your ears while I'm rubbing because it may be kind of loud. Let me see if I can use my scissors and do it. I want to get this part down first since it keeps coming up. No, it's not working. And you can usually see when it starts releasing from this clear sheet because it gets lighter. I can't believe I didn't check that before I came to see if I had one of the, these all come with a little flat bone folder that you can use. It's working. Sorry, I know this is not very fun watching my hand in front of your face. Let's get creative. Oop, I did it. Okay, that one hasn't started coming off yet. I don't think this glue stick would work, but we can try. Hey, Carol Ann. Use a credit card. There you go, sis. You're so smart. Let me get one. So smart. Don't y'all be copying my number now. I've come up yet. I hadn't finished putting you down yet. I think this one works best. This is the industrious part, being industrious. When you hear that stuff popping, that means it's coming off, it's releasing. Man, I should have big muscles in this arm when I get through. Until that one's not released yet. Part right there is not released. Come on. You can do it. Okay. That's totally released yet. I'm getting a workout. Take it off slowly so you can see if you need to lay it back down. There's one little piece that didn't come off. I'm not worried about that. Now, usually what you do is you take your paper and go back and just rub over it to make sure. Now this part, these, I am going to put a top coat on to bring out the color. Okay, so look, isn't that pretty? Yeah, they are stubborn, Kimberly. All right, let's see what we can maybe put on the side here. It's got some yellow in it, but those are too big, I think, maybe. Maybe not. Whew, by the time I get this done, I'm gonna have to eat something. Okay. Let's see here. Ooh, that's pretty. No. And let that little stem come right down over here, and then I can cut it where it joins the box. Lay it on its side. Now you stay right here where you're supposed to be. Y'all ever do that? Talk to your projects? I noticed the other day I was in the store, grocery store. I don't even remember now what I was looking for. But suddenly it occurred to me that I was talking to myself. I was like, no, if you get this, and that'll happen, and that won't taste as good. And I'm like, what am I doing? People must think I'm crazy. Hey, Jeannie. Talking to myself. And myself was talking back. I'm getting some of these little leaves on this hardware, and then I may not have to do much of this hardware either. Nope. Now it could be because I didn't put any wax on this part. Part of it sticking in. So y'all, my BFF, one of them, is moving back to Tennessee at least part-time. And I am thrilled. Her dad, her stepmom died last year, and her dad lives alone. He's very capable, but she just really would like to be closer in proximity to him. So I think they're probably going to keep a residence in, or a home, like a weekend home in Kentucky where they live. That's where their grandchildren are and one of their sons. But his business actually was started in Nashville, her husband's business in Tennessee. And apparently in Tennessee, I didn't know this, but in Tennessee there's no capital gains tax. And they may try to sell the company soon, so that would be to their advantage. Plus she would be closer to her dad. Okay, let's see, that's not sticking down yet. I think I'm gonna have to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I go through the house talking to myself, and my hubby was like, who you talking to? I think sometimes that's the only time he hears me. Yes, 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 yes. I get it. Okay, I'm having a little problem with these up here. Sorry, y'all. I probably should turn it over. I don't want to rub the magnetic thing off my card. It's hot in here, y'all. Probably just because I'm overexerting. Nope. Now come on. Come on. Don't make me look bad because you won't come off here. Sorry, y'all. I know those noises are annoying. Okay, and that one's coming off with this little yellow. Puppy doesn't want to do its thing. Up there. I can tell right now that one's not going to come off because you can tell it's not loosened up yet. There we go. Let me show you. They'll look so much better when they get a clear coat on them. Okay? Use the heel of your shoes. Okay, let's see. This one kind of needs something a little bit bigger, I think. Do y'all think this red rose right here is too much for the front right here? Or I could use these. That might be better. They're bigger. I could use these, this, or this. What do y'all think? Red, yellow, pink. Red, yellow, pink. Hey, Sandy Cooper. I could put the red up here, the two yellows, or the pink that has a lot of leaves coming down. What do y'all think? That's right, almost there. Red, yellow, or pink? Tell me. Tell me true in the comments, red, yellow, or pink. Ready, set, go. Pink, if it fits. Yeah, I think it'll fit. Even if it comes down over here, I think it'll fit. Pink, pink. Kimberly says pink. Anybody else? Okay. Kimberly wins. Woo, woo, woo. Hey, Kimberly. Another Kimberly, spelled differently. The lighter pink one. Okay. And that's what Kimberly Wool said. So that's what we're going to do. and hope that I have any arm strength left to do it. You just can cut around these little things and leave the rest of them in your pad. And if it's too big, we'll just trim it off before we start. Okay, that will definitely go up there. That will come down in the crease. I might cut it. I think I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna cut it right here, and then if I want to go back and add these extra leaves somewhere, I can. Sorry. Okay, let's do that. We want to come back and add these little leaves somewhere. We can do it. We can do it. All right. So, if we try to line this up and put this part over here. Lay it down. Thank you, Joy. I think too. I think they're pretty too. Okay. I need to do something right here to make it go on so it's trying to stick. Let's see if we can at least get this part going to stick. Oh, I wish I had my bone folder. Note to self, pack bone folder. I don't think this will do any good, but let's try it. Maybe it will. Actually, doing pretty good, I think. Just a little plastic putty knife. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, that's coming up. Yeah, that's coming up. Cool. May have found the ticket. God, y'all, this live has lasted a long time. Yes, he's working, Kimberly. Probably all day today and probably all day tomorrow. Maybe later, we don't know. Okay. I feel like I can get a little more force behind this bottle sometimes. Really need this one to go down because it wants to let go. I think I almost bit off more than I can chew on these transfers, not having a bone folder. But we'll get her done. I've never really understood where that term bone folder came from, what that means. Is it because some of them were actually made from bones to help you decrease stuff? Or does anybody know the answer to the question? Where the name bone folder came from? What brand are the transfers? They're IOD. This one is called Rose Botanical. Rose Botanical. Oh, those are coming off. Okay. Okay. You can do it, Lisa. You can do it. Self-talk. That one didn't stick. I see it coming right on up. Now it didn't. You just have to take them back slowly so that if they haven't adhered, you can lay it right back down. And then one more side. Rose, yes, Rose Botanical. 8 12-inch by 16-inch sheets. Well, I'll just yank that off. See if I can figure out where that goes back. Okay, I think that got pretty much all of it, but I do need to cut right down through here. Okay, so here's this one. So pretty. So we got 3 sides. Let's do this last one. Now this has a lot of yellow on it. I'm gonna save those little leaves in case I want to put them somewhere. If not on this project, maybe another one. That's not bright yellow. Let me see if I can find one that has, yeah, this one has more bright yellow in it. So let's cut, I'll hold it up and show you in just a minute. Let me cut it out while it's down here on my lap. We may have to trim some of the leaves off a bit, this, because it's pretty tall. Okay, so let's see here. We won't have to cut much off. I don't think I want it straight. Okay. We'll just cut off what we don't use. Maybe this one will be kind of easy because it's pretty flat. Famous last words. Oh, thank you, Kimberly. My secretary is answering the question. She knows. She knows what he does. She knows how he is. I think he and Kimberly's husband are probably a whole lot alike. I think Kimberly's husband is more outgoing than Rodney. Commercial water heater, that's right. You're right. He helps install them. Sometimes he helps troubleshoot if there's a problem and he goes and tries to fix it. Sometimes he has to convert some from electric to gas or gas to electric. Usually very little residential. He does do some residential, but mostly commercial. So, yeah, I think Kim's husband and my husband would probably be a lot alike. I think Kim's husband's more outgoing, is what I started to say. Rodney's pretty much, he's pretty introverted, but has a wicked sense of humor that's so funny, and he's so quick. With his wit. What do you think, Kimberly? Is that a true assessment or not? They would be a lot alike. It's not sticking. Come on. Come on. Oh. That one is not wanting. I may not have gotten any number 2 pen art crackle medium on there. It's not coming up. That's okay. That little stem down. Okay. I really wish these would come down over the side because I think it's cute when they spill over like that. There we go. See how that just came over the edge? I think that's cute. Let's see if I can make it happen on the other side. Let's see. Yep. Okay. Yay! We did it. Now we need to put the top coat on so y'all can see the colors really, really come out. Big thinker, big woo is loud. Yeah, that's true. They do have a lot of knowledge. Okay, let me get my thick Dura Clear. It's not that one. So y'all, when I pack these little bags, these little bottles rather, I have been trying to put a piece of bubble wrap over them so that maybe they won't spill. Something about the change of pressure in the plane sometimes makes a big mess. Okay, I'm going to put some of this on here because we're only going to be putting it on the transfers. But you'll be able to see how the colors come out really fabulously. See? And see, I just don't think it's gonna need anything else. Do y'all think it needs anything else? I mean, I'm not opposed to putting something else on it if y'all think it does. Just tell me what it is. And we'll see if we can do that. Hey, Gina. Y'all think this needs something else? I love how the crackle shines through. Okay, look. See, it just makes them pop. So y'all like it just like this, or do you think we need to add something else? I really don't think it calls for bling, do y'all? It's too, like more antique-ish or vintage looking, I think, to have a bunch of bling. I mean, I know some vintage antique stuff has bling, but this with the florals and the doors, I don't think calls for it. You love it, Kimberly? Good. So glad. You know, when you have a picture in your mind of what you think you want to do, but you don't really know how it's going to come out, like the crackle on the decoupage. And it's like, in my head, this sounds like it's going to be really good, but I won't know till I start doing it, and there's always a risk. This is just a little old cheap brush, probably from the Dollar Tree. Because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 brushes in the water so far. Okay. I think that's enough. Let me throw that in there. Get rid of these, except those leaves I'm not going to get rid of yet, in case I want to use them. And I better put the top back on this real quickly before I knock it over. Okay. So, here we go, y'all. You like it? I will paint the bottom white because it got yucky. I may not do anything to this hardware except try to clean white paint off of it. Because this had the paper that came up over it. This is a little bit white right there around the edge, so I may try to dark wax it a little bit more. A special gift if you put someone's favorite wine in it. I know. It's actually got a place for 2 bottles of wine. See? Thank y'all for those hearts. I appreciate you all coming on today and staying on here forever with me. Thank you, Pam. I didn't mean for it to be this long, but it was. So thank y'all for being patient. Thank you for being supportive. I love each and every one of you, and I hope today is a very, very blessed day for you, and go out and bless someone. Love y'all. Bye.